What's going on, guys? John Elder here from Ctrl+v.com, and in this video, we'll look at cut, copy, and paste for a text editor with Tkinter and Python. Alright guys, like I said, in this video, we'll look at cut, copying, and pasting for a text editor. But before we get started, if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Ctrl+v.com where I have dozens of courses with hundreds of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. That's all my courses, videos, and books for one-time fee at just $49, which is insanely cheap. Okay, so we are moving right along in our text editor. Today we want to look at cut, copy, and paste. And we're going to do these a couple of different ways. One, using this menu here, and two, using keyboard shortcuts. So we're going to do some binding as well, and it gets a little tricky, and so it's definitely worth watching this. So by cut, copy, and paste, I mean like, this, and then we can paste in again. I'm using keyboard shortcuts right now, but we'll also use these things up here. So let's jump right in here. And the first thing we want to do is come down here to our menu section here. And let's come down to the second one. The cut, copy, and paste is right here. So we need to give these some commands. So normally we would just say like cut_text, and that would be fine. But we're also going to do binding. So keyboard shortcuts. So like we'll hit the Ctrl and the C, that'll be copy. Ctrl+v will be paste. Ctrl+x will be cut, right? And whenever we deal with bindings, if you remember from the past videos when we've dealt with bindings, we always have to pass in an event, an E. So that means our functions will be listening for that event. And that means here we have to pass in that event. And you can't pass in things into functions with labels or with menus and buttons using this command function unless you use a lambda. And we've used lambdas lots. So let's just set this up now. Let's go lambda, L-A-M-B-D-A. And remember, this is a lowercase l. I know it looks capital, but that's just Sublime Text doing its weird thing. So we want to set a lambda and then colon, and then we can just pass in anything. And I'm just going to pass in 1, right? Because we're not actually passing in anything here, but we have to pass something in. So we might as well pass 1, or we could just say false. We're going to pass in false. So we're going to pass something, but that something is going to be nothing, right? This will make sense later on. So, all right, let's go ahead and let's just actually copy all of this. So cut, copy, and paste. And instead of cut text, we'll make this one copy text. And instead of paste, we'll make this one, or instead of cut, we'll make this one paste text. So now we need these 3 functions. So let's head over to our functions section here. And let's start out by defining cut text. And let's say cut text, right? And we have to pass in something, so we'll put E there. And I'm just going to put pass for now. And let's just copy this a few times. Boom, boom. And we'll make this one copy text, and this will be copy. And we'll make this one paste text, and this will obviously be paste. Okay, so before we deal with all of the event stuff and the bindings, and we'll do that later, let's just knock out the basic functionality of these things. And remember, whenever we want to cut something from a text widget, we've looked at this in past videos, we could just call the text widget .selection_get, and that will get whatever's highlighted in the text box. So first we want to see if that exists. So if my _text .selection_get, so if something has been highlighted, right, then we want to do something with it. What do we want to do? Well, let's set this, whatever that is, to a variable that we can remember, and because later on we're going to want to do something with it. If we've cut it, it probably means we want to paste it later. So let's create a variable. I'm going to call it selected. And let's set that equal to whatever this is. Right now spell this right, selected. So we want this to work outside of this function. So let's make this global, selected, right? And now, okay, so whatever has been highlighted in the text box, in the text widget, we'll assign it to this variable. And we don't need this colon there. So we also probably, if we're cutting, we want to delete whatever that selection is. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's comment this, grab selected text from text box, right? Here we want to delete selected text from text box, right? And to do that, we would just go my_text dot delete, and we want to delete from whatever is selected dot first to whatever is selected dot last. And we've looked at this in past videos as well. So this will just grab whatever is first highlighted and last highlighted and everything in between. So for instance, this quotation mark and this quotation mark and everything in between, and it will just delete it. So, okay, let's just really quickly save this and run it just to make sure that kind of worked. And we can't really tell if it worked, but we can tell if at least it deletes the thing. So let's head over here and let's run textpad.py. So we can go test. Now if I highlight this and then hit cut, boom, at least it disappears. So okay, that's working. So next, let's paste whatever it is we just copied, whatever it is we just cut. And remember, we assigned it to this global variable. So we should just be able to access that inside this function, right? So first, we need to find out where the position is that we want to actually paste this. And it's going to be wherever the cursor is sitting. So let's create a variable called position. And we'll set that equal to my_text dot index and then insert. And this will grab, as we know, wherever the cursor is currently sitting in our text box and assign that to position. So then we can take that and insert, and we can use that to insert whatever we've cut, right? So we could just go my_text dot insert, and we want to insert it into position. I want to spell this right, position, there we go. And what do we want to paste in there? We want to paste in, we want to insert in selected, right? And that's just whatever this is up here. So first off, we probably need to test to see if there is a selected. So let's go if selected, then do all of this stuff, right? Okay, so let's save this. And for good measure, since we're working with this global variable, let's add it up here at the top of our file, just as a global variable. So let's go global selected, and let's make selected false, just when our program starts the first time, just so it exists, so there's no weirdness and no errors for not having a variable defined beforehand. So, okay, let's go ahead and save this and run it, see if that worked. So I could say John Elder. Let's go ahead and cut this, and let's come down here and do some spaces. So our cursor's right here. If we hit paste, boom, it pastes it back in. And we can do that as many times as we want. Okay, so cut works, paste works. Now we need to do copy. So let's head over to copy. So let's start out by doing another if statement again to see if something has been selected. And since we haven't assigned selected to anything yet, we just need to go my_text dot selection dot or underscore get, just like we did for cut, right? And then again, we can probably just grab this, paste it in. Let me make sure this has been tabbed correctly. Okay. And again, we need to make sure the global is set to selected up at the top so that whatever we assign here will be able to be accessed everywhere outside of the program. So, okay, that should do the trick there. So let's go ahead and run this, see if that worked. So let's go test and edit copy. The difference between obviously cut and copy, with cut, it deletes it. With copy, it just copies it. So now we can come down here, we can space over, we can do anything we want. And now let's try and paste that in, and boom, that works. So, okay, our cut, our copy, and our paste all work. Now, we also want to do some event bindings. So if we head back over really quickly and just look at our code here, you see up at the top here, edit, this Ctrl+x, Ctrl+c, and Ctrl+v. Those are the standard cut, copy, and paste shortcuts that work for all Windows programs, right? For Mac, I think it's Command-X, Command-C, and Command-V. But on Windows, it's always Ctrl+x, Ctrl+c, and Ctrl+v. And the funny thing is that Tkinter has those built in already. So if I highlight this and hit Ctrl+c on my keyboard to copy, you can't see that I did that, but trust me, I just did. And if I come down here and hit Ctrl+v, it will paste it. It's already built in that way. It already works. So that's really cool. We don't really need to do anything, except it only works if you do those shortcuts on the keyboard. And when I say Ctrl+c and Ctrl+v, I mean I'm hitting the Control button and the C key on my keyboard at the same time, or the Control button and the V key on my keyboard at the same time. So that's cool. We can Ctrl+c, I just did it to copy it. But now I can hit Ctrl+v to paste, as we see, but I can't come up here and hit paste. It just pastes whatever we did earlier, right? So it's not sort of taking what we use as the keyboard shortcut, Ctrl+c, and using that in these functions up here. So we need to fix that, and we could do that pretty easily. So let's come down here and let's create edit bindings. And we've done bindings before. We just call root.bind, and then we pass the thing we want to bind. And in this case, it is Ctrl-key-x or C or V. So we'll just start out with X. And what do we want to do? We want to call that cut_text function. And that's not Bing, this is bind. There we go. So I'm going to copy this 3 times. So Control cut copy would be C, paste is V. So here we want copy. And here we want paste. Okay, so whenever you use these bindings just in normal Windows life and Ctrl+c to copy or Ctrl+x to cut, what you're doing is copying those things to the Windows Clipboard. So it's sort of floating around in the Windows Clipboard in memory, and Tkinter can access the Windows Clipboard. So we'll use that with these things. So let's start out with, let's say copy. So we still want our global. So first we need to check to see if we used keyboard shortcuts. So did we actually use the keyboard shortcut, or did we go up to edit and then copy? We need to determine which one we did. So we can do that by saying if E, right? So if there is an event, it was passed in using a keyboard shortcut. If not, there wasn't a, you didn't use the keyboard shortcut. You obviously must have used the edit copy thing, right? So if E, then let's just set our selected variable, right, to whatever was in the clipboard. So we can go root.clipboard_get, and this is the function. Like I said, whenever you copy a thing, it gets copied to the clipboard, and Tkinter can access the clipboard by calling clipboard_get, and then we can set it to this variable. This variable is global. We can then use it anywhere we want, right? But now, if we didn't, right? If we didn't use the keyboard, if we instead went up to edit and hit copy, there may still be something knocking around on the clipboard from some other time. So we need to be sure to clear that and reset whatever the clipboard is to this selected text, which gets created right here, right? Which is what it was actually selected. So to do that, we can go root.clipboard, and first we have to clear it. So basically what I'm saying here is if we highlighted some text and then went up to edit and then hit copy, we want to clear anything that was in the clipboard and put whatever we just copied here into the clipboard. Why? Because we might come up here and hit copy to copy it, and then we might get crazy, and when we paste it, we might hit Ctrl+v instead of coming up here and hitting Ctrl+paste or edit paste, right? So if that happens, we want to make sure whatever we copied here gets put in the clipboard so that if we do Ctrl+v, it will paste out whatever is copied, not whatever was just in the clipboard at some other time. Maybe yesterday you copied something, it's still in the clipboard, and you don't remember, and so we need to clear that. And then, like I said, assign this to the clipboard. So we can do that by just calling root.clipboard_append. And then what do we want to append in there? We want to append in selected. Okay, so let's save this, and remember this is copy, so let's run this guy. So I'm going to say codemy.com. Now if we come up here and hit edit to copy it, and then we come down here and I'm going to hit Ctrl+v to paste, something's gone wrong there. So we need to work on our paste function next. And that's normal. So let's work on that. But at least we can see that it was copied. So, all right, let's head down to our paste, and now let's work on that. So here we're gonna need to do some selected stuff. So let's go global selected again. And same thing, let's test to see if there is an E. So check to see if there is anything, check to see if keyboard shortcut used, right? So if E, then again, we want to set our selected to whatever's in the clipboard, root.clipboard _get, else we need to put all of this stuff in there. Else, if something is selected, we want to insert it just like we did earlier, right? Okay, so that's paste. And while we're at it, let's do cut. So again, let's check to see if keyboard shortcut used. So if E, and again, we want to go selected equals root.clipboard get that, else, let's tab all this over. But also we need to do this stuff here, and I should probably comment this, clear the clipboard, then append. So let's copy this, head back up here to our cut section and paste this in, tab these guys over. Okay, because if we do cut using the cut function and with the selection thing, we want to clear whatever's in the clipboard and then add whatever that is to the clipboard. So, okay, let's go ahead and save this and run it. So, John Elder, let's go ahead and I'm going to, let's see, cut. Now I'm going to Ctrl+v to paste. Okay, that worked. So let's try this again. Let's go copy. Now I'm going to Ctrl+v to paste. Okay, that worked. So now let's go cut. Now I'm going to come up here and hit paste. Okay, that worked. Now I'm going to come up here and hit copy. And I'm going to come up here and hit paste. And that works. I can Ctrl+v and that still works. And it all ties together. So one last thing up here in our edit menu, let's add those little things, those Ctrl+v things and Ctrl+x things. So let's head back over here, all the way down here to our menu section. And where it says cut, like right up here, it says cut, and then it says Ctrl+x. So let's go Ctrl+x. And let me just copy. And then for copy, it's C. And then for paste, it's V. So let's go ahead and save this and run it, see how that looks. So edit. Maybe we want to do some tabs or something here. Can we do tabs in a menu? I don't even know. Let's see. Let's go, instead of this, let's go T for tab, right? And let's do 2 of them. We want 2. Okay, so let's save this and run it, see what that does. Just playing at this point, because this is fun. And I did not tab it at all. We'll have to play around with this. I'm sure there's a way to align things in a menu, but I'll have to look it up. So in the meantime, let's just, instead of tabbing these, let's just put, let's go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And let's put these in brackets or parentheses just to kind of set this apart. I don't know. Okay, let's save this and run it. Still doesn't look great, but we'll work on that later. But at least it works now, and that's cool. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Ctrl+v.com where you can use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. You get access to all my courses, over 45 courses, hundreds of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 100,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from Ctrl+v.com, and I'll see you in the next video.